Hey guys, it's me. I've just had my hair cut and I'm low-key loving it, so if I'm a bit messing with it a lot and stuff like that, that's probably why. New Mutants, I rate it 5 stars because I loved it. It's like a darker interpretation of X-Men. I feel like X-Men deals with a lot more personal things compared to like other Marvel films. In the comics are quite darker, e.g. Iron Man being an alcoholic and stuff like that, but with New Mutants it was really dark. It dealt with suicide attempts, self-harm, like with their powers, like dark backstories, like mental health. It dealt with LGBT stuff, which I'm really happy for. So the LGBT love interest, I forgot the characters' names. Oh my god, they were so good. Like, the actress is from Game of Thrones, I think, and she plays like this cool werewolf girl from Scotland, and she deals with a lot of religious issues, and like she gets branded and stuff like that. And this other girl's from like a Native American thing, so she wears like this bear thing, and like no one knows her ability, which her ability is quite cool in a way. It's sort of a bit like, I'm trying to think, sort of reminds me of like a Twilight person, but please don't leave any hate about Twilight. I love Twilight, so I will fight you down on that. I loved the LGBT thing because I feel like as soon as films put any sort of LGBT sort of thing in it, like Call Me By Your Name, that is an amazing film, but I feel like it's not as popularised as it should be. It is very good. Timothée Chalamet, I would do a whole video on why I love Timothée Chalamet. I feel like as soon as, for example, any artist comes out as LGBT or anyone who stands it, they sort of get not put aside, but they're just like, oh, they support LGBT, because it's still a big issue, the LGBT rights movement and stuff like that. And I'm glad that they brought it up in New Mutants, because with New Mutants they deal with individuality, and it deals with people being outcast for the powers they have, which can be sort of related to race, disabilities, LGBT, colour, anything like that, which I really appreciate X-Men for. It comes with different people's origins as well, so it came up with a guy from Texas, a guy who was mixed race, a Russian girl, and her backstory I didn't really get, but I think it's low-key something to do with abuse. There's a scene where this guy's like, where she's discussing, I don't know if it's with the Scottish girl, I think it's with the Scottish girl, and she's on about how this Texas guy, he goes outside and straps himself to this like stone and buzzes around with his ability. And I think she mentions how she doesn't know if he comes at it to like self-harm himself, because he always has like black eyes and he has like a broken arm throughout most of the film. So I think he does that as a self-harm way because of how his origin is. His one, he blames himself a lot for what happened, what brought him here. I'm sort of not disappointed with the ending, but I thought it could have been better. Like, I'm not going to go too much in depth about it, but the fight scene at the end, I thought could have been amped up a bit more. Like, me and my sister, when the credits were rolling, would sort of debrief it and give a sort of review on it ourselves, because me and my sister are big DC and Marvel fans. I really did love it. It highlighted, obviously, loads of different things like mental health, suicide. Like, she tries to jump off this church and the Scottish girl comes in and all this stuff. X-Men deals with a lot of big topics like origins, like ethnicity, LGBT, like they've done it in comics throughout years. Stan Lee hit a lot of important topics, and RIP Stan Lee, he's a legend and he will remain a legend. He doesn't shy away from big topics, and he's an executive producer in this. I'm really happy that they put his credit in, because he's an amazing person who highlights a lot of different things within Marvel. X-Men is one of my favourite sort of creations that Stan Lee's done, because it highlights differentiation between races and everything you can think of that's differentiated. I will probably add it to the film wall, which I have. I have manga and film walls, like my manga section, Dracula's and stuff, and scripts and that. I think some of the characters were underrated. So there's this guy who's like heats himself up. I feel like his character could have had a lot more of a better like his backstory was a bit poo in a way. Like it was sort of like Rogue. He reminded me a lot of Rogue and her backstory. Main people it focused on was all 4 of the other characters except him. But the villain is it could be sort of resembled to like a mental asylum where she wants to take these people. They're sort of like, oh, we're going to X-Men, but she doesn't send them to X-Men, she sends them to like this camp where they're trained to be evil people and use their powers for bad. I do think there were some things that could have been explained and done better, but I give it a 5-star because I loved how it tackled serious subjects. I don't know when my next upload's going to be because I've still not finished my anime that I'm watching. I just want to say thank you for people who watch and share my content. I will probably make another video soon tackling something that's been annoying me recently. Again, thank you to those who watch, and I will see you when I next upload.